Anything that I've done well, it's been because of learning and being with these people.
Don't ever question the value of volunteers. Noah's Ark was built by volunteers. Titanic was built by professionals.
It started out as our neighborhood and just parents wanting the best for their own kids. And then we quickly realized that the school board was making decisions that were very difficult. It wasn't that they didn't care. They were just very difficult, and realized we had to expand beyond our school district.
I get married, I have my own kids, I send them to my nice neighborhood public school because it's a really good school in Scottsdale School District. And I realized pretty quickly my PTO is raising $80,000 to $100,000 every year to support what teachers are doing in the classroom and support with teachers' aids and soft capital like paper and pens. And I'm thinking, this can't be right. Isn't this supposed to be included? And if my PTO is raising private funds for this, what are schools doing that don't have a PTO?
But what we all had in common was shared values and the belief that a sound public education system is not a gift or a luxury, and there is a right way to do it and there is a wrong way to do it, and all kids deserve to have it be the right way.
No beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart.
I met Doreen in a formal parent group that we were hosting in the district. SOS sort of grew out of a lot of conversations. It started at her kitchen table. It really was the definition of grassroots. It was designed to meet a need that was unfulfilled in the state of Arizona.
I was president of the school board, and there were these irate parents that would come down and tell us all the things we were doing wrong all the time, mostly that we didn't have enough money and we weren't allocating enough money and we weren't supporting whatever their particular program was. Finally, I think might have gotten a little bit fed up at one point and just said, look, if you want to be part of the solution, then be part of the solution, but just standing on the sidelines throwing rocks is not being constructive.
Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not.
That we use our voice to speak out and to speak up on behalf of kids who often don't have someone else to advocate for them.
After I learned that a bunch of cuts were going to take place to public schools in Arizona, I started going to meetings and board meetings, and all this bad news was being delivered. And I remember looking around the room and thinking, well, where are all the people who stand up and say no? Where are those people? And thinking, well, I'm too busy to do anything about this, but where are all of these other people? And long story short, you realize that it's on us. I mean, it is on us to do it, and you kind of have to take up the charge and just do what you can, to advocate for schools.
We've been talking about the same things, access to great teachers, paying enough to get great teachers, paying enough that all our students can have great experiences in elementary school, trying to unite students in the classroom instead of parcel them out to smaller and smaller schools where everybody looks alike or acts alike or sounds alike. And that's not what we wanted for our kids, and that's not what our kids wanted. Our kids wanted, big diverse groups of folks who were all different and all happy and all had access to a great education. So that really was our priority.
It takes a whole bunch of people pulling together, believing in the same thing, and really saying that we can do this. If enough of us pull together, we can get this done.
You know your child better than anybody else. And so if that's all you talk about when you're advocating, then you are the only expert in the room, because you're talking about the impact that you're having or that policies are having on your kids. No one knows that better than you do.
Do what you can, where you are, with what you have.
I couldn't do what I do Advocacy is really supporting. It's really out there, encouraging people to participate, get involved, and that's the only way we can spread the word. They don't understand how strong schools keep your neighborhood strong. So supporting your schools not only provides a great education for children to help them grow into productive adults, it keeps our neighborhood sound and our city sound.
I just see the importance in trying to keep bolstering the public education system and supporting it the best that we can, because a lot of times that's all a lot of kids have.
I have been so frustrated trying to work with the Arizona legislature and trying to work with, those folks, but you know what? Having kids is great preparation for that. Because have you ever been frustrated with your kids? Do you ever feel like you have to say the same thing over and over and over again for 3 or 4 or 5 years until they finally get it? Then you are ready for advocacy.
You have to recognize that it's a long haul. You're in it for the long term. It's not going to be one of those things where you can go do it and 3 weeks later you're done with it. It's not a short project or a small project. It's a big project. So you have to build your stamina. You have to understand that there are going to be days, weeks, sometimes months that are really hard. But you got to keep with it, because there's no one better than parents to change the trajectory of the way things are going in Arizona.
People are busy and they shuffle their kid off during the day and they pick them up, and they'll go in once a semester or a year for parent-teacher conferences, and that's it. And they don't realize what's happening at the schools, and the schools can't self-promote. So I think we just have to convince parents how important it is, even just once in a while.
Awareness.
Care.
Tenacious.
Stamina.
United.
Thoughtful.
Education.
Passion.
Vocal.
Selfless.
Believe.
When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful.
It took all of these individuals coming together to saying, this is my passion. It's about my kids. It's about the kids that I tutored when I was in college. It's about the kids that I taught when I was a teacher. All of us had those personal experiences that grew our passion, that made us come forward and find like-minded people.
I would say that one person was Doreen. But Doreen, with the layers of people around her, we changed the culture. But I think it was mostly getting the community to realize that the schools are important. And whether or not they have children in those schools, it's still important.
It just takes one voice to make change. And with SOS, there's a lot of voices. And people from all different walks of life, people from the community, people from business, people from education, and obviously people from corporate America. And for anybody that wants to get involved or can understand the responsibility that we have to our children in public education, just a couple of minutes with them makes them understand and realize it's important to be involved, even their one voice.
Thank you for your achievement, commitment, encouragement, investment, involvement.
You don't get a quarter century of continuity and commitment often these days, and so that's quite the accomplishment.
I think it's worth the effort. Public schools are really one of the cornerstones of our country and a democracy. Making sure that every child has access to a quality public education it's critical.
Doreen Zanis and the army of advocates that she has built have been absolutely tenacious. They have never given up. They have this singular vision, this passion, this tenacity to make sure that we do everything we possibly can to make sure that all Arizona kids get a quality education in public district schools, and that we ought to celebrate that. And she's been challenged, she's been criticized, she's been celebrated, she has run the gamut of experiences, and she has never once given up.
I hope it grows and grows and grows. I think that it can only get better. There is no failure when it comes to people who are working together to make a difference for children in public education. I think it will continue to grow.
I believe the key to success for every child is a great education. It was true then,
and it's still true. And until we deliver on that promise, I'm not done.
Public education being better in Arizona is a better Arizona.
If you are feeling something on the inside, you need to say it and really get that out on behalf of kids.
Never think that your heart isn't enough to make you successful in this endeavor. This is an endeavor where you are speaking on behalf of children, and they cannot speak for themselves to people in power.
The important thing is, once you get involved, you'll see that you can really accomplish something for you and for your kids and for your community. And that's such a good feeling that you won't want to stop doing it.
It's been such a life-altering experience, every single person, every single day, that if anybody else could have that experience for even just a snippet, the impact will be, they just don't even know what it will bring to their life.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. That's a wrap.